Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Welcome back once again to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share to share some space, some entertainment, some perspectives. Hopefully a lot of things will come forth. But be honest, when I click that go live, you never really do know what the universe might bring. I have already dropped the link for those who may wish to join the conversations. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Blessings to you who are stopping in. I tell you, I wanted to address at the beginning here some of the wisdom popped in and found here. 10 beggars can sleep on one rug, but 2 kings feel uncomfortable in one country. The significance of the human arrogance, man, it is truly a trip. And thank you, Dominic. Fortunate is he who does not carry envy as a companion. Can you imagine a life free of that companion of jealousy, of envy? Feels good to be rid of some of those old friends I used to carry. I do feel quite fortunate myself these days. And I love this for sure. What a terrible era in which idiots govern the blind. Does that not describe today's political system? I mean, we all have our blindness, but holy cows, man. The emperor's got no clothes. This stuff is a sick joke. Hey, and what inspired me with these things too is an unsettled spirit can be transformed through the gems of wisdom. So, Dominic, thank you for dropping these gems of wisdom for us, for some of the spirit to become settled. And hopefully these perspectives, these reminders, I think they're all helpful for us at different times. Getting scruffy there, aren't I? And hey, blessings to all of you who are dropping through. I genuinely do appreciate it. Sincerely. Let's see, God is love, but get it in writing. Trust in Allah, but tie up your camel. Stay frosty. Van Halen grading card. You know what? It seems pretty true. I don't know about the get it in writing thing. Just because things are written doesn't mean, an awful lot. Hey, and please, Simple Jack, thank you. All of you guys, thank you. As you come through, though, please just take a second and rub the like, so they say. Oh, man, I meant to set this up. On the thumbnail today, some other beautiful quotes, some more gems of wisdom that I've been reflecting on and considering. To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. And the other inner quote there, a happy life consists in tranquility of mind. And that was kind of the inspiration for the thumbnail a little bit today, exploring the mind. And then I considered what might be the mind. Well, the mind it's an incredible weapon, an incredible tool, it's a incredible toy, just like every other thing in this world. So from my own inspirations on the others, I offer surrender your mind to stillness through the moments of each day to better discover the subtle signs and beauty that the universe offers. Because there is, I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, I have been paying attention and noticing. And I know I don't see, I know I probably don't see everything, maybe even not what I'm supposed to. But there's a subtlety to nature, to life. It's powerful, it's peaceful, it's It's what brings forth the distinctions and the variety, the subtleties of life. Life can overtake us, and it can feel like pretty consuming and just, the world's against me again. Nothing's going right. We all go through those periods, I think. What I've been noticing for myself is most of the problems are right there in my head. And that's what I've been focusing on myself, is trying to maintain peace within my own mind. And the more I've been practicing it, the more simple it appears. And I'm certainly not an expert at it or anything, but I think that's what we're all supposed to do. It follows. Here's where I'm at, to kind of regroup a little bit. What I offer each day on these streams, brothers and sisters, is my collection of education and experience. I don't always offer it perfectly. It's not always as clear as I'd hope, the messages and the explanations, but the things I'm explaining can be understood and presented in many different perspectives. And that's what gives me such confidence and such peace in sharing what it is that I'm offering. The idea of relationship with God, the idea of commitment and devotion to the truth, whatever the truth might be, from whatever source it might appear, respecting and honoring the truth, and most of all, a deep, constant appreciation, a constant appreciation for love. All of the love that I've ever known, all of the love that I've imagined, all of the love that I can see in the families of others and the stories of others. Focus on love and on truth. It shouldn't be so damn difficult, should it? It really shouldn't. And yet, it appears that's exactly how this world is created, is to make it difficult. Excuse me, to make it. The world we're living in brings forth the appearance that it is difficult, it is challenging to know the truth, to speak the truth, to stand in the truth. And this world, this realm, it makes it appear that love is scarce, or that it's hard to discover, or, the world we're living in, it's a beautiful, mystical, magical world of lights and shadows, reflections and refractions. It's such beautiful patterns and repetition, nature, the patterns of life and history. There's beautiful patterns to those, yet there's distinct similarities and unique differences between all times, all people, all things. It's so amazing, man. I am feeling high on life, and here's another beautiful example of strong and kind, I'll say, humble man. Welcome, Simple Jack. Good to see you, brother.
Hugs, brother. Hugs. How you doing today?
I'm feeling amazing and truly blessed.
I can see that. I can see it in your energy and the way you look. You look great, Jack. Nice T-shirt. Look great.
Thank you.
Hugs
Thank
to
you,
everybody in
Mike.
the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Absolutely.
I like the title of the show today.
Yes. What thoughts come up with from you when just the first thoughts type of thing?
Well, I like the idea of tools and toys. I'm not a big fan of weapons, but obviously you got to have them in your toolbox if you need to fight or if you're a fighter, you know.
I
So,
was
go ahead, Jack.
I'd thought about this a long time ago. Growing up, playing with throwing stars as toys, right? Um,
M80s, yep.
yes, yes, M80s. And to some, I don't know. Everything can be used as a toy, especially with ignorance and naive minds. Children can use anything as a toy, but the cruel and just destructive part of us can also use and create many weapons. And sometimes the tools are weapons, sometimes the weapons are tools, but weapons and tools in the hands of the child are toys. Weapons and tools in the hands of a master, they're almost like toys as well. I hope to refine my use of words to be more of a toy and less of a tool.
You don't want to be the master?
I do hope to become a master of my words.
What I've noticed is that I filled my toolbox with a whole bunch of materialistic tools, and now I'm on a spiritual journey to find those tools to add to my toolbox.
I love how you said that too. To add, to add to. Um,
I get to add, Jack.
that's the blessing. It took me a long time to realize that we're allowed to do pretty much whatever we want. Our mind is limited, though, and we don't always know what we want at the time it's available.
So that is one tool that I can add a tool to my box is from this show is it really helped me figure out that free will is real. We get to have the choice to pray in the morning to our source. We get to have the choice to hate in the morning how we get to perceive things. We have that free will every morning. It's like a brand new movie. It's a brand new scene. It's a brand new opportunity. It's our chance to be free every morning. And how you start your day is definitely an important thing. I'm learning that a lot of famous people is all about how you start your day. So learn how you want you to start your day, and it will definitely affect the outcome of the day.
That's a great tip, great advice. And I love what you said. It took me a long time to realize we get to we get to spend time in our devotion, our prayer, understanding the creator. We get to grow in ourselves. And I love what you said. Set the intention in the morning, start off on the right foot. The other part is remember it's never too late to restart your day. Right?
Yes.
We can always, wherever we're at, we can say, all right, time for a change. Got to do an adjustment. We're going to finish the day, finish the course, whatever it is, in a little bit different method.
How do you like to start your day, Jack Talcott?
I've been, I like to start it slowly, to be honest.
Yeah, it
I'm,
takes me an hour to get ready, bro. Like easy an hour. And I'm fighting every minute of that hour. I'm like, I don't want to. So I'll just turn on the YouTubes and see what channel is on, watch them. Like, oh damn, 15 minutes went by.
um, I'm, I don't know. I like both ways. I like getting up, having a plan and purpose, being start up and get going. But um, I do like to start out slowly. Starting with gratitude, that's the very first thing, as I recognize, hey, I woke up again. Hey, I've got shelter over my head. Hey, it's warm in here, comfortable. I feel good. Praise God. Thank you. And then my morning also includes a practice, whether it's intentional or not. I always spend time on my spine, stretching and feeling good. And then once I feel good, then I get going in the day and it feels good the rest of the day. In
Thank you.
theory.
Thank you for sharing, Jack. Yeah, that works. That's a nice day.
Um, yeah, actually I have been really reflecting on how blessed I have been. The past several years have been an interesting experience for my life. Everything's kind of transformed and changed. And so it's been an adjustment, regardless what the future brings. I've had an extended vacation, an early retirement, which was kind of amazing. I think more people should have some time off in order to reflect on themselves, reflect on what is important for them. That's what's going to happen in the world that I hope to create. I hope to create a world where more people, number one, they remember and actually they enjoy taking a little bit of time out each day just to fill themselves with gratitude and in a world where there's not as many fears of wars and debts, there's less oppression, there's less conflicts, and where people actually unite. I feel this within me. Maybe I am a little naive, but I really don't think so.
No, you're not naive, Jack. You just don't recognize what's in front of you. You literally have that right here.
Yes, yes,
I don't
you're
know if
right.
you recognize that because
Thank
people
you.
come here and are grateful for your show, your time. You're putting back into the community, which is right here. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm just rubbing your back, Jack. You got everything you need right here, and it's free. It's
Amen.
free. This is free knowledge. This is a free experience. You are providing that, Jack. Don't forget. I'm just letting you know.
Respect. I thank you. Well, and this is the hope is that we, those who join and gather, we go out and share in our own little branches. I know there's a lot of people, a lot of groups. There is a lot of light coming forth in this world, man. I don't know what the rules are for the YouTube stuff. Um,
For what? Reactions? Watching other
the
people's content?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Well,
This
one thing I do know is it helps is when you do review other people's stuff, let them know what channel you're going to so they understand who you're watching so you give that person credit. I know that you're supposed to take a break every 2 minutes to review the content. So it's
okay.
not just plagiarizing, it's not just stealing their content. And I also heard that you can avoid the 2 minute break by playing the video at, I think, a 1.5 multiplier and slightly zoomed in to one, avoid copyright audio and visual copyrights because you're zoomed in, so it's a different scale than the original format, and then it's a different audio scale. So there's all Destiny is a great person to. Destiny on YouTube is a great person to reference. That's literally all he does all day. He's made a career of reacting off people's content. So
Interesting.
that's what
Thank
I've
you for
learned.
that.
Yeah.
I
But there's nothing
appreciate
wrong
it.
with reaction videos.
Well, my hope is actually to kind of promote the guy. um, I think he's a gifted young man. He does some beautiful videos and instructions. And the message I watched today, I'll drop the link at the very least.
I'll look that up for you, Jack.
I I I got it right here. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Excuse me. The I didn't what I could do and maybe what I might do in the future is make some notes on where I find some real inspirations. But this one, his topic was changing the mindset from being victim to creator. And that is such an important topic.
Yes.
Accepting ownership that, yes, there are forces out there are people out there's a lot of opposition out there, but we don't want to be a victim, because if we look at ourselves as a victim, then we're going to spend a lot of time making excuses and blaming. That's the sign of a victim. That was the connection I realized in myself earlier. I know my life started changing when I focused on my words to make sure that I wasn't making excuses or blaming, both within myself and around me. And then it wasn't until I just today made that connection. Well, that's what a victim does.
Well,
We're
yeah,
not.
like for example, in the morning, like we said, we used to start our days and how we start our days. I used to say, "Oh, I have to get into work, or I have to do this," and I was playing the victim card before I even got to work. I was a victim before I even started the day, and that I can imagine that's just snowballing into a bad day. It's your
Dude,
snowball walnut.
I relate to that so much from my past. Is yeah, snowball. The the good news is, though, is we can shift those. Just as things can snowball and get worse and worse and more chaos and more disappointment, we can become the interruptive pattern. We can break the pattern. I broke a lot of my old patterns and I feel good about doing so.
I've seen
Did
that
I?
on YouTube, Jack. Congratulations. We've seen your progression over the past year.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Your shows have greatly improved. You can tell by the numbers have grown.
They
Your
are.
subscriber count has grown. Your audience has grown. Everything's grown. We have acquired some trolls, but that's just the process of growing. So congratulations, Jack. Everything you're doing is right. It's a very slow pace. I mean, we're at turtle pace, but the turtle usually beats the was it the hare in the end.
They are.
So
Yeah. Thank you. This is something I've been trying to work with, remind myself as well, is that there is an eternal plan. I have an eternal spirit. The essence of me is not worried about time. It's my imagined excuses. I make excuses. This isn't happening fast enough. They're not understanding the way I want them to understand, right? I'm trying to be the controller of reality instead of the creator. We all
correct.
do this. And that's what Aaron was talking about, and what I did for myself, and I'm encouraging everyone to do. It's part of this self-development. It doesn't have to be complicated, doesn't have to be scary or anything. You can treat creating yourself into a greater version as a game, right? It can be a chore for us to go on a diet or to work on changing our health or whatever. It can work as a chore, and we can build up resentment, imagine all sorts of reasons we can't. Or when we stop playing the victim, we become the creator. And we create within the realms of what God allows.
I totally
And
agree.
yeah, thank you. And I think since God is always with me, well, I just got to get out of the way, man. Let God do its thing through me, with me, for us all.
I totally agree. Hey Jack, I want to explore something real quick, if you don't mind exploring it with me. You don't have to, of course.
Yeah.
If I asked you what element you were, how would you answer? Are you earth, fire? or air? Earth, fire, air.
By
Because
my astrology, I'm fire,
oh, you're
and
a
I do
fire. You
kind
think
of
you're fire?
resonate.
Interesting. I thought you were Earth.
Interesting.
Yeah. What makes you think you're fire? If you don't mind me asking.
The eruptive energy that's the potential that's there.
Volcanoes erupt.
Yeah, true. I don't know. The elements are something I'm very interested in, and I haven't gone really deep into them. How where are you thinking?
I
Where
thought
what?
you were Earth. Just from what I've seen, you're like a mountain. People are like Mount Everest, for example. They stare at it. They come here and go, "What is up with this? What is up with this thing? That's amazing. It's it's an Earth. It's Earth. It's a huge mountain, right? And on this mountain, people will use you as a journey to find themselves. They will walk up and down the mountain. Some of them won't get the top. Some of them will. Someone will succeed, but everybody's in awe of you and will use you as a way to better themselves. And you showing up every day, that makes you rock solid. Consistency, Earth, rock solid. That's how I visual you as a like a Mount Everest, and people just either using you to succeed or using you to find something in their life or something going on there. But you're definitely a main attraction. I find it. Thank you. I find it interesting. That opens up something that maybe a volcano, fire and earth mixed.
You're I honor what you're saying, and that actually I can totally resonate with that. That I'm used for people to grow from, and thank you, man.
I see the fire part now. Thank you, because I was so limited in my point of view of you just being an earth element that I didn't think that you could be also earth and fire.
Um, I trust what she says about me.
I heard water doesn't exist as an element because air, once it gets cold enough at a higher temperature, at a higher altitude, turns back into water. So it's actually a symbiote relationship. Air and water is the same
Interesting.
because air
They're
will
both
turn into
fluid.
ice, turn into
Yeah,
snow, which turns into water. So they're actually the same element. That's why I didn't bring in water.
interesting.
Hmm. We're all water.
We are.
We're
Yeah,
all
I would.
water.
Hey, this is similar, but off the path of where this conversation was earlier today. I was thinking about it, and I encourage. We have the ability of mind, the power. There we go. Here into the topic too. The power, the tool of our mind, and it is such a gift. Earlier today, and I've said this before, it's up to us. We can spend time imagining God's love or the love of others or love in general. We can spend time imagining love or not. I never thought to consider that. I always seemed to find a focus on my lack of love or the places where I couldn't quite see the love. I was spending time today kind of admiring the perfection of biology as I understand it, right? What science has taught me about the way our minds, our bodies work. I mean, just the fact that we turn food into energy and then into waste. I mean, and our body is constantly digesting and cleansing, and we're just a magical process of happening. The point is, earlier today, I spent some time imagining how much God might love us. Picturing the story of Jesus, that was God in form to teach us. He sacrificed, right? Sacrificed willingly and allowed so that we could learn. And I honestly think God created us to serve. And so I think God serves us we have God's will within us, and we get to direct our will and our will, but I think it's God's will that's within us, but it serves us and we get to direct it. We get to tell God what we want by through how we feel, what we say, what we do. That's how we're communicating with God. I think it makes sense to me. God is that which allows us to know, and to know that we get to be. We're allowed to be by the grace of time and space and form and all the chemistry and everything. It's magical. And so if there's an incredible loving God that expressed all of this, all of the past and the present for us to know and to learn from, and that God created all of this for us to share and to experience, um, wouldn't we want to serve that God as well by taking care of its creations like each other? This is where my mind went.
Yeah, that's where I don't. That's where I'm confused about this whole the word love. Like,
Hmm.
it's like, is it does God love us, or is it His responsibility to take care of His children?
Hmm.
Like, like a parent's love. Is it really love, or is it something in the blood that tells you this person I have to take care of because we are connected more? Because love to me, I heard it was something that was actually designed in the '60s. 40s or 60s. It was a hallmark. It's all off business. The word love is it's all business
No.
because if, like, for
Wait.
example, love, if there's love, there's an opposite, right? There's hate. So it gives you
Yeah.
the choice of love or hate. It creates the separation. If you just come to your fellow man as I accept you and I want to help you and all my abilities, and I want to make sure that you're nurtured, that you're taken care of, you're nurturing them. That's not love. You can say that's love, but that's just taking care of somebody. Like you would take care of yourself. And people want to say, call it love. You love yourself, but you're just taking care of yourself.
Yes.
And you're
This
not
is,
taking care of yourself. You're not hating yourself. You're just not taking care of yourself.
I'm trying to follow where you're going with it. I agree that there's been a lot of distinctions and confusion about what love is. Where you were going with that, it's another synchronistic thought I had earlier about the selfishness of service. But it's not really selfish, because when I help you, it makes the world you're living in a little better place. And since we are all connected, maybe not even directly, but maybe your better life ends up helping someone else who then helps someone else who happens to come through and help me or someone I care about. It just makes sense that we help each other. I mean, that's kind of the point.
Well, what confuses me is we call it love. Oh, I gave love to you by helping you, but it's like, well,
Oh.
everybody has their own definition of love. Like before, I only excluded love to people. I know people who say they love cheesecake. You know what I mean? So like,
Okay, gotcha.
I'm
Yeah, yeah,
completely lost in the idea of what love meant to people. When I said before, when I used to use the word love, I was an emotionally connected animal that was a wreck. You know what I mean? I would go out of my way to make sure that person was happy with sacrificing my own health
yeah,
because of love.
yeah. What
You
you
know what I
thought
mean?
was,
Like, yeah, like,
yeah.
or the opposite, because there is love, there is the opposite, which is hate. So now that I think about it, if I just remove that idea of love and hate and just accept all men and all women as equal and should be treated as equal, as nourishing and caring, That's all I need. I don't need to put a superficial word like love over it. That's all, in my opinion.
I love what you're saying. Um, I encourage you, though, to re-examine it for the reason. I don't know if I can. Excuse me. I don't know if I can put my finger on it, so to say, but love has created a lot of confusion. Several years ago, when my life started transforming, I looked up people's explanations of love. I didn't understand it. And hearing, this is how I learn, is through, maybe we all do. I learn best through my mind, through thinking about, listening to other people's experiences and explanations. And I remember one of the yogis talking about how you can love the breaded fish. You catch it and eat it. You can love the joy of catching it, love the joy of eating it, but do you truly love the fish? And so love comes in many different perspectives and form. And I think you kind of reminded me too, maybe love, not just exploring mind, but love, how it's been used as a weapon, a tool, and a toy. The inverse of it is typically fear and anger, those feelings of negativity that keep us trapped in our lower chakras. That's what I was reminded about too.
Well, I appreciate you exploring this idea with me, Jack, and I will explore the idea of how I can redefine the word love for myself to help it for the friends around me in my community. Because I'm pretty sure some people still want that word and want to be acknowledged as that they are loved.
Yes.
I personally don't need that. I don't need the acknowledgement that I'm loved. I don't need it.
You may not. Um, and yet it may be something that you just haven't received the way or when it was supposed to. I don't know.
I don't want to sound arrogant, but I know I am loved.
Okay. Good. Yes.
I know.
Well,
I believe in
perfect.
God.
There you
God
go.
loves me.
There you go.
And if God loves me, I
Amen.
love myself, then that should project out to everybody else.
You got it.
I'm covered, bro. I'm
You
covered.
are.
Like, I just
See,
want to. I'm fucking covered. Like he takes care. Yeah, I'm covered.
you are. That's what I mean when you first joined. When you first joined, I saw your light, man, and you are a strong presence of love.
Hugs, Jack. Hugs. Strong presence of hugs.
Well, here's listening to the many different philosophies and philosophers from different religions and faith. They really speak about love without condition. And love without condition, it seems scary. It's illogical. Oh, it is. Such a valuable resource, such as love, to be able to share it freely and without condition, that makes no sense, right? At initial thoughts. But if we bring in God into the equation, and I know there's scripture about this, God is love. Love is who we truly are. We truly are God, the essence of God, the image of God in form here today. But we've become so confused. All of us along our ways. Um, love condition without condition doesn't make sense. And it probably won't. I understand that. It is illogical. But oh, this is a thought I had earlier, and actually a topic. Within your mind and within yourself, can you allow something to be true and untrue at the same time? Can it not make sense and at the same time also makes sense. Because if we can allow ourselves that, the completion, not just the one-sided part of the paradox. Because if we break it down, we understand the word condition, limits, restrictions. Under these specific conditions, then there is the exchange. It's not the language that we stumble over. It is accepting the truth. And love without condition, we were given a perfect example in the story passed down to us of Jesus, Yeshua. This is actually what Aaron was talking about in that video.
I have an example of love without condition. For example, this is how I see it. You have your neighbor you don't get along with. You guys just don't get along with, but you have to live next to each other. And there's a huge hurricane or tornado, and your house is fine, and his house gets ripped down. Hey, bro, do you need a place to stay? You don't like the guy, but he's a human being. He needs a roof over his head. You got an extra room. That's showing love and compassion right there to somebody you don't like. But because of unusual circumstances, you have to show unconditional love, I would think.
We get to.
Yes, exactly. We get to show. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah. And that, I think, is the most freeing choice we can make. Kind of tying back to your earlier talk about getting to start the day like that. We get to. And what an amazing gift it is to be able to know today and to be able to know other people. Today, getting to spend time and to know Simple Jack and Domenic, they're still here. They're still living and rocking on with this adventure. That's an amazing gift. And all of the people joining in the chat as well. I've become attached, admittedly, to even some of the most abrasive characters, but I've grown attached with a love and a care. Should they leave my experience? Okay. C'est la vie. That, I think, is where you were talking about with the ability not to be attached, is that having a wholeness and a completeness regardless. But if we can then go to the gratitude, that's what life is all about. That's what I've stumbled across, the obvious thing that's right in front of our face. Gratitude might be our best weapon against evil. Well, no, because it's used, gratitude. People are tempted into things through unhealthy gratifications, and I don't know.
Gratitude with the correct intent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going back to the toolbox, what tools do you have in your box? So you got gratitude, you got live without fear, and you have love. What am I missing, Jack?
The things I'm just lacking are just the things of the world, the money and the employment and stuff like that. But I've been growing in this. I shared this several times, but if we can be tested, we can pass, right? And of course, only God and the truth will determine if we've passed our tests or not. But I assumed the probability that the tests we go through as men and women, they are to refine our character. So, what type of character do I want to become? And this comes back into the becoming the co-creator instead of the victim of life. Assuming a role, saying, okay, I'm here. I've learned this. I have these attributes, these challenges, whatever. What is the character I want to become? Anger was an issue for me for a long time in this lifetime. So I wanted to overcome anger a little bit better. Turns out it's simpler than you think. Thinking is what creates our anger.
Yeah, overthinking, correct. Yep. Comparison, thinking. Yep.
Yep. So the practice of meditation and mostly the practice of mindfulness, the act of paying attention to my mind, that's allowed me to develop the practice of, changing my thoughts. The thoughts come in, but when it's negative, stinky thoughts, a bunch of revenge or negative, I don't allow it. I pick something different. I think if the world starts doing this, allowing, okay, these are the options and the patterns that have been, but I want something different. If each of us start going within our own minds of what might different bring me, what could be different in better ways, in ways of, in ways that will allow me to greater empower myself. My mind keeps going back to that video. I was,
Play it whenever you're ready.
I don't know which part to play, honestly.
That's where I think you could benefit is if you have a video and you want to hit points, just write down on a piece of paper where the timestamps you want to hit are. I think
That's,
it's going to help. Yeah, just a little bit. Or just play through the whole video, and if people don't like it, they can leave, and we will all enjoy it.
here, I'll play at least a little bit of him.
Because
Because this,
Aaron's got 229,000 subscribers. I'm pretty sure what he's saying is important.
I admire his abilities. Here,
was allowed, created, and invited by me and chosen by.
this is the topic of accepting responsibility. And here, I'm going to go back a little bit and we'll just play a little. Sorry for the.
What this means
You are always creating.
is that every single moment of your life, even long before you understood any of these truths, even when you were still living like a victim of your reality, you were, nevertheless, creating it. Even back then, right? You've always been creating your reality and choosing your state of being every second of your existence here. And so let's take a moment to let that sink in.
That is it can be a humbling thought when we really think it through, that we have been in control of ourselves through every moment of our life. We didn't choose everything that happened to us, but we did choose how we responded, how we reacted, how it affected us.
If you can, that every experience I've had from the beginning of my life as this person was allowed, created, and invited by me and chosen by me on a certain level of my being. And this is difficult because we think, well, I would never choose to create abuse and suffering and victimness. What do you mean I chose those things? And so choose is kind of a difficult word to say because it's more like you've been willing to tolerate those experiences. And whatever you're willing to tolerate is what you're continuing to allow into your experience.
I'm going to stop there, but that is where, when he said the word tolerate today, when I heard that, I was thinking that is a deep truth. Our comfort zone becomes a material. What are we willing to tolerate? What are we willing to accept for ourselves? I don't know.
No, that's resonating with me. What we tolerate in our lives. I sometimes think that sometimes these panels you tolerate a little too much of some of these guests, but I enjoy the show and that's why I stick around. But I'm like, dude, you could have kicked him like an hour ago, bro.
I know. I like
I know.
I like to say that there is a method to my madness, so to say, that there's reason behind um, allowing some of the chaos to continue. But yeah, sometimes I don't know. What should we tolerate from others? This is a good question, too, right? Goes back to that question of forgiveness, the 70 times 7. Do we, Dominic,
Yeah, I know. I saw that too, dude.
crack me up, man.
Will you stop interrupting Jack? We would appreciate it, bro.
Right?
With these comments.
No, he's sharing other stuff in the private chat, and I'm kind of trying to bounce around here, but see, this is where I mean. I lost sight of the chat there for a few minutes. Please forgive me. Love Actually. I remember the title of that. I don't remember. I totally deflected and distracted our conversation again.
No, this is what streaming is, and I think people need to realize that we need to slow down. It isn't a rush to get things done. You had your moment to share the video. You're going back and going over the chat at your own pace, your own race at your own pace. You're doing great, Jack.
Thank
And
you,
you're recognizing that instead of just like, yeah, you're doing great, dude.
This life is an interesting adventure. What do you think the future is going to bring for you? You willing to?
More pain and suffering.
No, you're joking with that.
No. It's I will always be fighting a battle of working working on my responsibilities, which hurts. I'm a physical person, Jack. Until I can figure out how to get behind a keyboard in an office, I use my body as a tool. I'm almost 40 years old, still using my body as a tool. It hurts some days.
What are your other options?
My options are to become the best CM I possibly can, which is a construction manager. That's what I do. And then after becoming the construction manager, the load should become easier, so my hands become less, and my mind becomes more. And then after that, it goes into project management and area manager. So eventually, it'll be all hands off of tools and just sitting in a truck and enjoying life. But until then, it's an uphill. I'm still putting on the tool belt. And I'm still doing things like that. So I'm ready. I accept my fate as somebody who is going to have to deal with some physical pain, mental pain, and challenges. But I'm not denying that, and I understand through my hard work that it will probably benefit me, and it has benefited me. But I do recognize it's going to hurt, and that hasn't changed in 40 years, Jack. I don't know when it's going to change.
I want to offer you some feedback on your words, okay?
Yep.
You've obviously had an experience. You have no shyness about doing the work, about feeling the pain to get it done. You're here to do it. I honor, respect that. What I want to encourage you to do is to allow a little bit more skepticism in maybe the patterns of the pain and suffering of the future. Okay? Don't be so sure. I want to encourage you, don't be so sure that the growth and the stuff that you've been doing, it could pay off like that. So as a new opportunity, anything can happen just like that. Okay. So I encourage you, allow some space and honor the growth you've been doing, and recognize that just because you are willing to feel the pain and do the suffering doesn't mean you have to, right? And I think as men, sometimes we look for opportunities. I used to look for opportunities without realizing it, I think, that would make my life more difficult. That way I had something honest and truthful to complain about. Because then if I had something honest and truthful to complain about, because whatever, life is tough, well, then I got some attention. That's stupid sympathy nonsense. I don't know. I hope for you, sincerely, especially since we are sharing an experience together, I hope you and many others find hope and inspiration for your futures. That you feel a little more encouragement. You see it. You see the signs in your own life that show you you're on the right track. Life is getting better, and we'll all figure it out together.
Yeah, yeah. And I do appreciate the suggestion of starting my own business, and I have done that. I do have my own business, so.
Pay attention for other opportunities. Sincerely. There's many, many ways to share your skills and your talents. And there's many, many ways for your value to bring rewards, especially in this day and age. I think.
Well, if this helps, Jack, my dad was in the military, so and he's a, he's an ex-marine. Unfortunately, he was not able to retire. He was so close. He was like 17 or 18 years into it. But they're taught to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So I'll just give you the worst answer. You know what I mean? Like I prepare for the worst, but I understand
Beautiful.
through all my hard work, it will reflect on so many people's lives that they're going to benefit from it and probably smile.
Yeah.
Probably benefit from my hard work, my encouragement, my leadership, and all these things. So people will benefit, but in the long run, I cannot deny that I will bleed and I'll probably end up losing some friends and see some things and go through what I've gone through. But I'm not going to deny that.
What's the old saying? Amor fati, seize the day, or seize the fate. Whatever, embrace your fate. Love the fate that life brings. I love it. This is how we are supposed to live. And I see a future where people are we're going to help each other, so it's not going to be so difficult for each other in greater and different ways. Welcome, brother.
I'm here for the help.
You're here for the help.
No. I'm here for the help.
Okay. Well, then I'll come back when it's my turn.
Hey, Flo, hugs.
What up?
Congratulations on all your channel success, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, dude.
Thank
That's
you for your contribution to it.
Yeah, I had to get you out of jail. I felt bad. I don't know if you saw that, but Flo got tricked, bro.
What happened?
Explain, Flo, how you ended up in jail.
So I did what was it? It was a God discussion, right? Like always. I have a lot of those on accident. Anyways, at some point I stopped sort of interfering in people's, and so I put across the bottom a ticker. It was like Fight Club, basically. And I did not clarify me. I just sort of under the assumption that everybody would know that this is my channel, and if I don't know. Anyways, immediately after I put that ticker up, somebody paid to have me banned the rest of the night. And then, but then Simple Jack and who else? And someone else.
Just spell me?
No.
Don't spell me? Is that how it goes? Or something like that?
I can't recall off the top of my head, but yeah. Simple Jack pulled in 40 of the $50 to bring me back up to save me from hell. So it was pretty funny.
How kind and generous.
Because I was thinking about the ticker space, right? Like it's like that's too much shit to type in one ticker. Nobody's gonna pay $50 to hope that I go off my own channel. Boom! I got
Come
hit
on
instantly.
now, Flo.
Instantly, I was dead.
Wouldn't you seeing that loophole on someone else? Wouldn't you push the envelope?
Not for $50. I don't think I would. Well, I said because originally I was like, all right, since I didn't clarify, I'll honor it. Stream ends in 5 minutes. But no, I was actually, and to be completely honest, I probably would have. Not that panel ended anytime soon, but like if that happened in a world where I was getting ready to end, maybe it would make me go longer just to kind of avoid any impropriety.
Understand that.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I think it was a bit.
You willing to share, or you remember?
Huh?
Are you?
Oh, you think it was? You think I had Katie in the other room doing that?
Yeah. So yeah, you say, Katie, drop $50, put me in jail. They'll have to pay me to get out of jail.
No.
I actually both of I was surprised on both ends, right? But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have shut me down for $50. I just changed the fucking channel. But who knows? I appreciate whoever did that, and I can't recall off the top of my head now either.
Never underestimate a troll and how deep their pockets are, dude, and what they're willing to do. Never.
Right.
Never.
I mean, it was like the X-wing. It's like Luke Skywalker shooting for that one little thing on the Death Star. Like I had this one little like gap in my rules, right, and they just shot it straight down.
I learned. I have a disclaimer in my description now. You cannot donate. You cannot donate to kick the host.
Do you?
Yeah, I added it in, bro. Yeah. I'm learning.
That seeing through the rules is actually something I learned real young.
It's great.
It can get you in a lot of trouble though too, because
I mean, I'm trying to teach my daughter to read the student handbook, because at 13 she doesn't know why the fuck you would ever read the middle school handbook. I said, this is how you play the game. They can't do anything that it says in here they can't do. You don't have to do what it doesn't say you have to do. This is your best weapon against the lunch lady or whoever.
Good for you, raising her to be defiant and to stand up. My mother did that with me. It was something she taught me to question.
I'm trying to teach her to be good at it.
There you go. That's the key.
Because I think that I was raised to be good, and I'm just too. So I kind of took if she wants to be, and she is a better kid than I ever was, just by nature. But being good at it, I think, is more valuable. If that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely does. I was watching something earlier about patterns of society regarding major conflicts and then how the society kind of changes. Crap. It's tied to what you were just saying too. I don't remember what it was. We're coming through this age where people have been defiant. This is where they were. I don't remember the exact patterns they shown, but there was like a little reactive period in the 70s, and then the 80s. It was, those people grew, their values changed, and things have progressed. I really don't know why I'm saying this. I yield.
I don't know. You lost me at the 70s. I was like, oh, okay.
I know. It was I didn't have a complete thought and I found myself still talking.
I do that. I think everybody sort of appreciates your little ADHD moments because all of us have them to a degree. But most of us try to roll with ours.
Yeah.
Do you have them simple, Jack? Is that what you're looking at? Were you looking up to see if you have them?
No, I was trying to think where Jack was going with it. I was like, where was Jack going with this? I'm trying to figure out. I don't have no idea where Jack was going with 70s, and I'm trying to figure it out.
Defiance, 70s. I was talking about my daughter.
Hippies?
Hippies?
Oh, it was about defiance, I think.
Oh, Defiance, okay. The
Well,
70s.
But there was more through it. They gave an interesting analysis or perspective, at least. One generation is taught not to talk about things. The next generation, and as they're taught not to talk about things, they're taught to obey. And then, the kids seeing the obedience and seeing through the stuff, they grow up and become kind of defiant. And we're at an age of absolute confusion, man.
Yeah. People are becoming defiant against having a penis and things,
Yeah, they're defying facts. How do you deny facts?
Well, it's where you defy definitions. That's what they're defying, I think, more than anything. And yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but since you jumped up like that, Jack, I've seen you defy definitions a lot of times as well.
I probably do.
I don't think you've ever done anything as extreme as cut off your penis and call yourself a girl, but
we don't see what's below the camera.
But you know what? I don't know what I don't know.
Right. That's one thing I respect about you is you do seem to pay attention to where is my limit of knowledge? What don't I know? That is a sign of wisdom.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I for whatever reason, it's always been like not always, I guess, like most of my adult life, it's been a big thing that I like. When people exaggerate what they know, that's still a lie, right? It doesn't feel like a lie. People don't know it's a lie, but every person who claims to know things they don't, well, it's wishful explaining, and I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know where I was going to land that either, and it didn't become readily apparent when I was talking.
No, it was very well said. I lost it already. I had an interruption in the back that distracted.
What am I getting in line for?
Welcome, Flo's side piece.
Hey.
That's what distracted me, man. So you were describing how you were pressing back, I guess.
Hugs, Chuck. Hugs.
Welcome, brother. I am truly feeling good today.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you guys are joining a little later, but the idea of, we generally talked about the topic a little bit, how toys, tools, and weapons, they go together.
What do?
Toys, tools, and weapons.
Yeah, they're all cool things. They can all be the same thing.
Yep. And that was where we were that was what we were talking about. In the hands of an amateur or a master, the tool and weapon, they can be handled as toys. Initially, I was thinking bringing the mind into this weapon, tool, and toy conversation. But then the other side of mind is the heart, love. Love has been used as a weapon.
Well, the best way to become a master at using a tool, which I would say a weapon, like they can all be the same thing, but a weapon is necessarily a tool. A toy doesn't have to be a tool.
Gotcha.
A weapon does.
Yep.
But the best way to become a master of a tool is to use it as a toy. We learn way more by playing than we do by
Yes.
crunching, you know?
Do we need weapons?
Yes.
No.
Yes, that was awesome.
Of course we do, because we don't live in fantasy land.
Okay, today we may. Excuse me. Today we may.
Should we? That's debatable.
Yeah.
What's you're not satisfied with that?
I enjoy weapons. I mean, they're fun toys to play with. I was thinking, here's another. Actually, I'm going to throw just a total twist in where we're at again. I was listening today, and I live within about, I'm going to guess, within a half mile of a gun range. So I hear gunshots quite a bit, and I don't really pay attention to them. But today I was noticing, I noticed them, and my thought went to Tommy. Tommy, who, when he goes out to walk his dogs, he puts on a vest for protection and safety. And
LARPing? Wait.
well, we're sharing this time, sharing similar space, living in different realities. So this idea of the multiverse, man, it makes sense to me. We're all sharing it.
I see what you're saying.
I don't know. I mean, okay.
What's your
I don't
guys'
know.
definition of a
At some
weapon?
point, these topics like get to derive. It's like a derivative of a derivative of a derivative.
That's what we are. We're
I don't-
fractals of fractals of fractals who just imagine we're important.
I'm important. I don't know.
Holy
Oh,
cow.
right.
Can you guys help me understand something? What's a weapon in to your definition? Because I don't consider a shield a weapon.
It
But it
could
could be used as a weapon.
A
Yeah,
defensive,
it could be.
it would be a defensive tool.
Well, it'd be a defensive. It would be a defensive weapon. It's
Yeah.
used. Right.
Because, like, for example, to me, a weapon is to something that is for harm, right? It's protecting yourself from harm, right? Excuse me. I had to cough. Excuse me. And I was thinking that weapons aren't necessary, but a defensive weapon is.
If a defensive weapon is necessary, an offensive one is.
Hmm.
One and the same.
Yep.
All right,
If
then
somebody's
weapons aren't
attacking
necessary.
you, you defend yourself by beating them. You're going to need to go on offense at some point, or eventually they're just going to win.
Oh, so Uncle Fatty says a shield is a tool, not a weapon.
But I mean,
So
a defense without an offense is just a slower defeat.
Yep.
Defense.
Really? Okay.
Potentially.
Because to me, it was all about intent. You know what I mean? To me, an intent is to cause harm.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, why do I need something that causes harm in my toolbox if the intent is to cause harm?
I
But
agree.
that's why I'm confused about the whole weapon thing. But if you're using the weapon to protect yourself, I'm so confused in that.
If somebody's
one little
fighting
road-
you, if somebody's fighting you, if somebody wants to harm you, they're going to harm you if you just let them go at it forever. You have to harm them to stop them.
physically, right? But not with words. Like, for example,
I mean-
someone's words don't hurt me.
Well, I guess if
I don't need to respond.
if their weapon isn't actually a weapon, right, is what you're saying. So if they're disarmed because words don't matter, then then you don't need
thank you.
then you
I
don't
see
need
it now.
a defensive tool either,
I
because
see
they
it
don't have
now.
an offensive one.
There's no fight. Yeah, there's no fight.
Right.
All right, thank you.
I actually do believe humanity can find a way to live without wars, to stop replenishing the military industrial complex. I mean, it would mean we'd have to, we'd have the opportunity to maybe retrain some employees, offer them new career paths. I think it would be, wouldn't it make more sense for the, I don't know, it makes sense for the world to invest in peace more than war.
But when you got those against you, you got to be able to defend yourself.
Well, we should have, first, we should figure out who is actually against us and why. What is it that we have found ourselves in? The point is, our media and government presents that there's a lot of enemies. And the next thing you know, we've got neighbors fighting neighbors.
Is that happening out there?
Yeah, but how many times have we gone to try to achieve peace with these people?
I wouldn't know. This is my first lifetime that I remember. And I don't know.
Well, we can look at
It depends
our
on
own
who
lives,
people
but
are.
we can look at our own lives and understand human nature.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you see?
I see so much potential. I mean, I've spent time thinking. I know it seems like it's not possible, but I know it's practical. If
It
the
makes
world,
sense.
thank you.
It's pragmatic. Peace would be
All right.
pragmatic.
Yes. Imagine,
Pursuing peace seems quite unpragmatic.
it's not profitable. That's for sure. And it hasn't served me quite the way I thought it would yet. But I'm not done, and there's still wars going on. So that means something's going to happen. I'm either going to succeed or fail in this lifetime. And I think the logical conclusion for mankind is to create a declaration of peace for at least temporarily. And then if humanity came together for the purposes of actually, hey, let's see what we could accomplish.
Hold on. Would you be allowed to, if the peace declaration is broken, say, by somebody, can you defend yourself?
I believe
That's the end of the peace declaration.
Every case and moment would be, everyone would have to make that choice. But the idea that we continue this fighting militaries, those are people fighting people, and a lot of innocent people are dying. And it just doesn't make sense.
But it's, yeah. I mean, you're right. You're right. It just is not in our really. However, I mean, you're going to have to make it. It's not in our hands at all. So you'll have to get it into your hands.
That's my goal.
That's a ton of power to have in your hands.
I don't want the power. I want the opportunity. And it's, and it wouldn't just be me either. The idea is to share this potential, these ideas, to share the probabilities, to turn the possibilities into probabilities, and then together we'll work together and bring the probabilities into form.
That's what Hitler said.
So what? I'm not talking the same things. I don't mean to be rude. I honestly think this is the game God created for us.
Why? But why?
For the fun of experience, for the opportunity of
Oh, why
and
peace? Why would that be the game?
because there's been so much destruction and so much pain and suffering. I've heard it said the Earth's population has grown because of this transitional time Earth is going through. That we are here to achieve the impossible, and we're here to experience the life of our dreams. I truly think that is why this has been created for us. But along the ways, others figured out other things, and it's all a game. Life.
Yeah, I wish I had the cheat codes, bro. I swear some people have cheat codes. But whatever.
I've heard it said, actually, what you just described. This guy, I don't remember which video it was in, otherwise I'd pull it up, but that guy, John St. Julian, I talk about as well. He described this realm as this possibility that there is the divine goodness, the expression of light and form that's created all of this for us to experience. It's the unconditional love, unconditional goodness that just keeps giving and giving. Well, in its creation and in its form of balance, there's the oppositional force, which is the analyzer. And there's been the analyzer, the oppositional force that wants to replace the God of creation. And so the analyzer and the divider could have created this matrix and this simulation for us to experience, so that our eternal forms, our eternal souls of light come here into this form to experience for the purpose of learning from the experience of mortality and illusions of separation here in the duality realm. The darkness, the opposer, analyzer, the one that wants to divide and replace God, it siphons the light of goodness from us in the distorted energies of fear and anger and suffering. And then, as it said, supposedly people in high power and high places here on earth have been using the adrenochrome, the energies of fear and suffering, to chemically alter themselves. And this world we're sharing, the reality of life, is far stranger than I used to know, that's for sure. But it's my theory. I mean, I've been playing with this idea a long time, and if you guys can give me solid explanations of why it doesn't make sense, I'd welcome them. But in the idea of the Bible, the return of Jesus, the return of Christ, which would be the return of God's presence, which would actually be the awareness of us to God's presence here on earth. And as brothers and sisters who follow Jesus, the teachings of the way, if Christians around the world united together, actually offering love and praise for God and each other, the opportunity of life as children of God, if we became the church and the body, that would be the return of Jesus through us, all of us. And with the reign of Jesus here on earth, we wouldn't have authority and experts. We would have the truth freely available, helping each other understand, helping each other grow and learn. And I think we would. I never thought this was possible, and now I think it's probable that we are here at a very special time on earth. And welcome, Machine Lives.
Hugs.
Here, wrap up what I'm saying about the crazy story of what could be. Faith. Faith is what carries us through. Faith. Here, I'm gonna bring that up one more
Oh no,
time.
this is I got this. This is Machine Life's book. I got it.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you, brother.
yeah,
That
yeah,
means a lot to me. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
I'm
God
on
bless.
376.
Okay,
Holy
cool.
cow.
376. Yeah, I'm
Bless, man.
highlighting it and everything, so I'm going through it.
Cool, man. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I'd love to talk to you about it. Yeah, you're welcome to talk to me about it
It's
anytime,
gnarly,
man.
dude.
Yeah,
It's
thank you.
gnarly.
Yeah, yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah, philosophy stuff. Some theology, a certain low amount of political history as well. But yeah, it's got a little mixed bag in there. Multidisciplinary studies for sure. But yeah, man. Yeah, what's up, brother? Yeah, thank you, Frank. Yeah, man. Yeah, I love the topic. Topic is in my wheelhouse. You know what I mean? So I had to chime in. You know what I mean? Yeah. So thank you guys for having me and hosting this discussion. Definitely, I think it's a. I'm trying to adjust my my phasing in and out there, but yeah. But yeah, definitely, this topic is highly potent. With a lot of meaning. Because you can condense, tools and toys into their greater, extrapolation, which is really into, games, and wars. And of course, you see that in games and wars there is the competitive element that they both share. So I think that competition and playfulness, that they have a certain like they're two sides of the same coin in a way.
Damn
So
it.
yeah.
That's interesting. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've been trying to present the opposition to competition, to flow, and to others. There is a natural tendency of competition within us, and what? Damn it, you just said it. Competition is
Playfulness,
playfulness.
that once you have two competitors, in other words, you see this in kind of like a high scale of war, when there's two sides have noticed that it's really gonna be, a deep level conflict that's not going to be resolved. Well, once they've admitted that to each other and they've admitted that they're going to take substantial losses on both sides and that they're equal competitors, there's a certain sense of playfulness that comes out afterwards, where they realize that, even if I lose, I'm gonna be giving it all that I have, and then there's a side, when you join games, that people have this tendency like they're going to war against the other side. Even though it's just a game. People develop this sense of competitiveness. They get riled up, you know what I mean? And it comes in the fact that both games and conflicts, the result is open-ended, and that's why they have game theory. They have probability math, to fill in the gaps, because when you look at games, they use game theory. You see this in the statistics for the sport matches. Like they'll use statistics because the conflict, all conflict is unresolved. It's always open-ended. The ending to the conflict is still at the other end, and so you have to use probabilistic, guesstimations in order to arrive at the conclusion. You know what I mean? But yeah, and that's where the playfulness comes in. It comes in the open-endedness.
Man, you drop some deep perspectives on things. I respect this. Thank you. Hey, Grace, my friend, feel free. Uh, if your link, we talked earlier, I believe, and if you want a little recharge on your energy, feel free to join.
And
this idea. Oh, go ahead, please.
Well, I just wanted to add that like I didn't realize how important intent was as a tool in my toolbox. If you have the intent to destroy somebody, then you're not going to learn anything. If you have the intent to have fun and spar with somebody and enjoy the game, you're going to have a great time. But if your intent is just to destroy somebody and go to war, we all know the results of that.
That's beautiful. The intentions. The
Yeah.
intentions create the. I don't know. This is a new idea, but I think the intentions create the journey, and it's the journey that is
The most important part.
it is.
So,
These idea of what you're describing too, the playfulness that's within us. I realized this a long time ago, and I saw studies that made me realize this. Humans learn best when we're having fun, and we lose sight of the fun when we get into the competition and we're focused on the result, focused on the victory or avoiding loss. We lose sight of the journey, and life is a game that's created for us. It's a beautiful gift, and it's not a game, but it is to be enjoyed and learned from. I'm enjoying today, for sure.
and to give you some credit, Jack, I actually learned and got that hint for how do you what is your intent from one of your discussions on your panels. That's where I got
Thank
it
you.
from. So that's one of the tools I got from your one of the tools I add to my toolbox from your panel. So I appreciate you doing this, Jack. I gained from that discussion a while back
Thank you.
because my intent was like I just wanted to ask the question just to see the person's reaction, not knowing my intent. And people were like, "Why are you asking these questions?" Because I poked the bear.
Sometimes,
Yeah, I didn't mean to piss off the bear. I just wanted to see what happens when I poked it. I guess bears don't like getting poked.
sometimes that's our role in life, though.
Yeah.
We do the poking, and other times we're getting the jab.
Yeah, we're getting the teeth, dude.
And then there's a certain level of honesty that comes in facing a competitor, once one is not having to prove oneself. And one only really does that when they face up against a competitor on equal playing field. When you know that person is going to offer up a real challenge, you can kind of be as honest as you want. You don't have to prove your effectiveness to such a person. So there's a certain level of playfulness that comes with that. A certain amount of fair play, that comes along with it. And that's the kind of thing that's like honesty, in terms of not having to prove oneself, but also being able to give the conflict or the competition all that you have. Otherwise you're kind of checking each other. You don't want to show your true power level, because you don't want to give more than what's promised ahead of time. And in an event like that, an event such as a competition. So when it comes to sports, and also there's the notion of tools and toys and what's mediated through these things, because they're external. Tools, weapons, toys, they're technology, really. And what this technology mediates, is whatever the technique is. Therefore, as Flo pointed out earlier, the same thing can be used for all three. You could use a tool as a weapon and as a toy. The best way to learn how to use a tool is by playing around with it, tinkering, or something like that. And and also So there's all sorts of these things there, but the main thing is mediation. Tools and toys and weapons require mediation, and that mediation happens through technique. For example, a drone, as using an automated drone as a weapon requires a different level of mediation than using a sword as a weapon.
Yep.
One is a lot more personal. The other one requires a lot more mediation and a lot more technique. So the effect is much more prolonged. Your engagement with it is more prolonged. But anyways,
Brother, thank you so much. I did want to jump in here though with what you're saying, technique and the tools and technology aren't just external in the regard of the mind. If we look at the mind as a tool, instrument, it can be a weapon for self-damage. Okay. I wanted to swing back to this. Is wanting to be happy actually repelling happiness from getting to me? That is a very wise question. And I would say that oftentimes that's exactly what happens to us. We start focusing on what we believe is absent, missing different versions or different signs or different reasons. For you, my friend, it's very possible. Many of us do that. We want to be happy, which means we're telling ourselves we're not. So tell yourself you are grateful. You'll find the gratitude, or I am happy. This is it. State of want or lack. Those are the things that prevent us from being whole.
yeah, I think the problem is also in the definition, is defining happiness and then trying to reach that goal. A false sense of attainment of something that is unreal. Truly. But I think because happiness, is a word, really a state of being made up by Aristotle, where he called it eudaimonia, and he thought it was the goal of life was to reach this imaginary state called happiness. But if you look at happiness, what is happiness? You have graphs and measurements that say that people were happier in the 80s and they had less money, or some stupid thing like that. And it's like, did these people have a happiness meter, that they could define happiness?
Right.
Nobody knows what that is. How can you measure happiness? There's studies that actually measure happiness. Well, you have to look at what features they included to quantify this fake ideal. I mean, really, I mean, let's be real. I mean, there's experiences, and there's how well you digest and absorb your experiences through time. And all you have is your present means to achieve what you want in this moment. So what is happiness? Trying to get to a state of being, it's faith in the future, really, because you're defining something that exists in the future, a state that is really, I mean, as I said before, it's completely undefined. So I mean, first we have to define happiness, which is retarded. You know what I mean? And then we'd have to try to attain it. But I think I think goodness, the feeling that you feel, having learned something, applied it, having sacrificed some of our knowledge, with experience in the world, and having seen the difference that it causes, and then having learned what we can apply and what we can apply, learning the difference between knowledge and experience, and the difference there within, gaining some wisdom from it, and helping to improve our virtues in the making of that. That is the top experience. That is a level of attaining happiness. is how much we're able to sacrifice in service of what we deem to be virtuous, in my opinion, but
I'm not sure I agree with the conclusion you came to. Not entirely. Happiness can be defined, and
Can I add something, Jack?
Go ahead, try it.
To me, it's
That's
humbling
that.
myself.
See, you
Humbling
just the very first thing you said is why it can't be
right. It's an experience.
to me.
Well,
Yeah.
to me, and then from my experience, maybe someone can try what I do and maybe experience the same thing. And they won't be able to.
But that's why
understand
there
how I'm
can't be a
experiencing.
definition. That's why you can't have a definition for it, though.
Well, I believe it can be at least, well, words aren't adequate for most things. So if we get into that lack of ability to describe, that could apply to a lot. But happiness, we can generally conceptualize it through language. And I think the easiest way to know one thing is to know what it is not. And I have spent a lot of time trying to understand the logic through emotions. So, for the sake of discussion, what would you offer for happiness, Simple Jack? I do have my own idea.
Humbling yourself, humble, so you reduce yourself to being grateful.
Yeah.
All right, so you're humble, you're grateful, and then find joy in what you have, which creates happiness. Like, for example, I worked hard. I went and got myself a limited edition Hot Wheels, and now I'm happy.
Sweet.
I'm happy. If someone else wants to try that and see if that works for them, that might work for them, and we can share the experience of being humble, grateful, and happy.
Yeah, happy is internal though. There's nothing external.
Oh yes, there is. People always show happiness by jumping around when they're excited. Kids do it all the time. They reflect happiness without saying anything.
Happiness is a byproduct, I think.
I think, yeah, I think it's a byproduct of what Simple Jack was offering.
You have to create your happiness. You can't.
It's a
find
byproduct of Hot Wheels.
No, of gratitude. And gratitude is easiest found from a place of humility, where we're grateful. We allow ourselves to be humble and to receive the gratitude and the good things we can find. And I think that's where happiness in this world, where was that comment? In this world, we chase happiness. Many of us do, through the entertainment, through the distractions, the strip clubs, whatever. We do our thing to find happiness. But joy, joy is that feeling of, that's even beyond happy. That's just a more wholeness and fullness. And this is the logic behind these emotions. Gratitude fills us. I mean, actually, all of our emotions can fill us. The world wants us to believe we become. And maybe we do. I don't know. But
I also think happiness is the reward for hard work.
That's one way.
You know what I mean? Like
strip clubs.
Yeah. He made a whole bunch of $1 bills. He went to the strip club, and his reward is he gets to throw the money at the ladies dancing on the poles. That's his happiness.
Until you leave broke with a boner.
But that's an
Well,
external.
that means you got no social skills or no talking skills.
It means that you didn't bring enough money.
yeah, too. He only came in with $3 left.
I'm glad I don't do that anymore.
But I did it if you did it again.
I did enjoy the strip clubs. I did.
That's one of the 7 deadly.
I've enjoyed a lot of things in life that were not healthy or wholesome. But those are the past. And today, that's not who I am.
Oh, that's ruthless, Miss Scar. Start throwing rolls and quarters. It's $25 still.
Trying to
pretty
knock
funny.
somebody out.
Miss Scarlet Savage.
Going home with black eyes and bruises, dude.
You know, here's something along this line of happiness, the state of being happy. I think what prevents a lot of people from being happy is that earlier comment of wanting to be happy. That's one of the things. Believing happiness is not available. But a lot of people don't know what they want. Don't even stop to consider what would bring me more happiness, what would bring me more joy. And I think the lack of that thought process comes from low self-worth. Everyone's been judging themselves and finding reasons why I can't be happy until then. I can't be happy until they, whatever.
Yeah, you can be happy. You can be happy at any time, because that's strictly an inside proposition. Has nothing to do with your external being. Joy is an external thing that feeds, that brings you temporary joy in your life. But internal happiness, if you keep it with you, you don't need or want for anything else. You're content.
To say that it's completely detached and absent from the exterior world that's not real. There's a connection.
You cannot put happiness on external items.
I realize that. I realize that. True. There's always
happiness seems like kind of I don't know how to say it without sounding like douchey. It seems like kind of a shallow or like a low aim, right?
I agree.
Because if happiness is your aim, then like why aren't you at the strip club with a needle in your arm? Like
it's a lot like also enlightenment. I think enlightenment or happiness, that they're cop outs, or salvation even. I'm saved. I think that those are cop outs. In a lot of ways, they can be. I'm not saying across the board. I'm not here to doubt somebody who actually feels that they're happy, or somebody that tells me they feel happy.
They're
I'm not gonna shit on their
parade.
Take a shit on their birthday cake, so to speak. But I'm gonna but the thing is that I'm talking about a state of being,
Yes.
defining it as that. I think that is a cop out. And it's okay, Red 40, man. I was just trying to push on what you thought your definition was. But yeah, man, bless you, man. It's okay. You don't have to argue.
How about this? Happiness is a pretty general term. I mean, we can find happiness in pretty much anything we want, whether it's strippers or booze or whatever.
Or just a good piss.
Yes. Well, see, that's the gratitude thing. That's where I swing. Where I'm going.
What a boy. All right, I'll shut myself up.
You gotta watch it. Flow swings both ways, so watch it.
Yeah, stop peeing on my foot.
I did it
here,
once,
Flo.
and you can't stop bragging, Chuck.
Fulfillment.
Not the first time I've made him choke.
I think that's one of the best ways to fill ourselves. And the idea of happiness, though, if we could at least quantify happiness as the absence of unhappiness. That could be a goal. And I don't know. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it.
No, Jack, you're absolutely right, because this is addressing Grace's question. She was, she was looking for happiness and she wasn't finding it because it's just not something you can find. It's something you have to create inside yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So no, this is that was the topic of that was the whole question. I don't think any of
Thank
the
you.
guys right here like
Yeah.
are we're just trying to help the question. I personally I'm not about the happiness thing. Like I said, I try to find joy, not happiness. It might be a result of finding joy is happiness, but I'm not looking for it. So we're just addressing a question from the chat, and hopefully that us talking this much on that topic created happiness for Grace.
That's the hope. That is
Yeah.
the hope.
Not to discredit the idea.
I don't know. I know that these lives we're living, I'm not sure if Flo is talking to us or not. I think you were.
You guys missed that was the best. That was the best, most brilliant thing I've ever said. No, but if people stop and like reflect on what is happiness or when are you happy, it's normally when you're engrossed in something. Like, so if you seek happiness, you will definitely not find it because you're not engrossed in anything except for your own observation of lack.
Thank you, Flo.
Yeah,
You said it
you're
way better
always
than I did.
chasing it.
It's a great observation.
Had enough gayness out of you for one night, Chuck.
Thank you.
This ties in the concept of flow as well, being one with the moment. And that was what I was trying to offer earlier, is that as often as you can, as often as practical for you, whoever you are listening, as often as practical and as often as you can remember, check in. Notice where your mind is at. Notice where your energies are at. And then feel your life, get lost in a moment, just for a moment, as often as you can. That's how we're supposed to live, I'm pretty sure. I've been practicing these ideas. And I don't know. Should you listen to me or not? I mean, I don't have a job. I don't have any real results to point to. But if it makes sense to you, then you know.
I think everybody, it's the whole saying, a clock is right twice a day. Doesn't matter who made the clock. If the clock is broken, it's still right.
What's
So-
woo-wee?
That is
Not like woo woo.
no. There's
No, this is
maybe I
woo
should look it up.
I'm not looking it up.
No,
I
I'm
will.
not getting that deep into the internet lore.
I will.
It's probably I will.
That'd be like searching blue waffles.
Yeah, I fell for blue waffles once. I don't Google
Yep.
anything. People tell me to
Nope.
Google. I
Nope.
don't
Yep.
smell anything. People tell me to smell.
Never again.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Actually, I think it's spot on, just at a glance. Non-doing or doing nothing. Sounds like a pleasant invitation to relax, or worse, fall into laziness or apathy. Yet, the concept is key to the noblest kind of action, according to the philosophy of Daoism. It's the heart of what it means to follow the Tao, or the way.
Maybe I should look into the Tao.
Yeah, and that's what right in the chapter 1, it says that those who are bound by desire see only the outward container, and ever desireless one can see the mystery, ever desiring one can see the manifestations. You know what I mean? So they're both two heads of the same coin. The defining something, and not having it, you know, having something and not defining it. You know what I mean? You know, that's just how it works, you know, and it's really that with happiness, you know, and also with freedom. You know, the more we think we're free, the more enslaved we really are. You know what I mean? Because we're not able to see those things that bind us. You know, the more we're aware of those things that bind us, you know, the more we're able to rise above those limitations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it kind of goes, you know, both ways in that, you know, and that's kind of Wu Wei. You know, it's not doing nothing. That's a mistranslation. It's doing, not doing. That means undoing, you know, because in the way of knowledge, one always learns by incremental gain. But in the way of the Tao, it says one gains daily by relinquishing, by giving things up, you know. So, yeah, you know, I mean, I love that book, you know, it's a great text, you know, full of lessons and wisdom, you know.
That wisdom is powerful, very powerful. And the non-doing, it defies the logic and reasoning of our minds. Non-doing, that's impractical. I can't live not doing. But being the being that gets things done is different than being the doer, I think. And we are the beings who get things done. I kind of like that now that I said it.
Clip it.
This actually goes right in line with the thumbnail quotes as well too. What the hell were they? To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. Lao Tzu. And a happy life consists in tranquility of mind. Marcus Cicero. You guys remember who that is?
Oh, yeah, I know who that is. Yeah.
No.
The name didn't ring a bell to me, but I appreciated the wisdom.
Yeah, he's a Stoic teacher.
Okay.
You know, one of the teachers in the Roman Empire, in the Roman Republic. You know, he popularized the teachings of Plato. He's actually the one who gave Plato's book, famous work, The Republic. You know, that contains a passage about the cave.
Yeah.
You know, about the cave and the light coming into the cave and the people locked up in the cave, and you know, it's a very famous passage from Book 7 of the Republic. Actually, the work was originally titled The Regime, you know, by Plato. And and Cicero retitled it The Republic to put a smiley face on it. You know, but yeah, you know, Plato's title was a lot more fascistic.
Shining light on the day times.
Yeah, how they update history. They rewrite history, you know.
It's happened. And here, this actually comes into the realization I had earlier. And I can't remember any specifics that made me realize it, but the ability to have things be true and untrue at the same time. Realizing a lot of our history, while I've spent countless hours trying to learn and understand what brought us to history through history, man, we don't know what we don't know. And if they lie to us like this in the media today, I don't imagine this is anything new, to be honest, right? There's reports of ridiculous yellow journalism that was happening in the US. And think about it. That's why these billionaires buy and invest in the news media, so that they control the narrative of what's told.
If only we were slaves, that wouldn't happen.
Well, the victor tells the tales, and if they're lying to us in the media is reporting history day by day. So if they're lying to us day by day, guess what? We're losing. We're not on the side of the victors at this moment. So let's get them on our side.
Through murder.
Did you say no? Anyway.
As a last resort.
I think
let's not rule it out though.
Fair enough. We won't rule it out, but let's also not rule out that somehow, some way, humanity collectively pulls their head out of their asses and we stop living like we're in a cave.
Let's also not rule out that there's an agent watching, and so go ahead and say we're just kidding.
You think there's only an agent watching?
Well, all I see is Agent Smith down there so far, but I haven't really been looking.
Is he down there?
She. Agent Smith is a she.
Oh. Fascinating. Okay. Hey, there's scrutiny all around. We do live in the surveillance age, right? There's really no secrets or privacy anymore. We've just got government officials and corporate employees thinking that there are.
Wait, what?
There's really no secrets, you know, and yet there's a lot of government and corporate employees running around pretending like there are secrets.
There are really secrets. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
I thought you pressed back on me before saying that that all the information is there. There's no reason to end secrets.
Sometimes I'm not listening, and sometimes it's not worth the battle.
Respect. I know.
I don't normally choose my battles wisely, but every now and then I choose.
But when I choose them often.
Right. I don't choose them wisely, but I do choose them.
I don't know. I don't know how the future is going to happen, but I know that I know I love being me. And I want others to love being themselves. Even when there's challenges, even when there's uncertainty, even when there's a lot of opposition out there saying, no, you're a failure. No, you're wrong.
But some people are wrong.
Yeah.
Some are.
They should stop that.
That's what I've been saying. We are on the same side. If people would stop being wrong, the world would be right, wouldn't it?
But
then they shouldn't enjoy being themselves.
Who determines what's right and what's wrong, though?
The truth.
Yeah.
Who determines the truth?
That which is real.
Jack. Jack.
God does. God reveals that which is real. That which is real may be known, and that which may be known may be true, or it might not. So this is where you find peace. Allow things to be true and untrue, both at the same time. And then see if you're confused.
There's a flag all over that motherfucker.
It honestly made sense to me.
No, I resonate with that, Jack.
I don't believe that.
No, like, for example, I have to wake up every morning, be happy, and try to be a positive reinforcement for the world as the world burns around me.
There you go.
Well, that's not a very positive outlook, though.
But it's true.
No, it's not.
It is true and untrue.
No, it's not a positive outlook. It's just answering your question. Like, yes, this is literally It is true.
What, the world's burning?
Yes.
No, it's not.
In Australia, it was 6 months ago or a year ago. It was.
Yeah. What's the worst thing that happened to you today?
Not to me, Flo. The world
Yeah,
is burning.
exactly. But you're only you, and you're only experiencing your own experience. You're not
Yeah,
experiencing.
but the war in the Middle East could eventually hit us, and then I'd be waking up in a trench.
It's
That would
already hit
suck.
you because you've decided that it's hit you.
No, I don't wake up with the M16
Virtual.
in a trench, dude.
But you're sitting here thinking the world's burning. It's affected your whole worldview.
Well, if you don't think the world is burning, you're just assume it's good.
Mine's fine.
Oh,
Here,
yours is at war
me-
and not in utopia, so yours is not fine.
Maybe I like it like that.
How do you know?
But mine isn't at war.
How about this? I want to press back a little bit, Flo. I get totally what you're saying. And that is the realistic and more stoic, real approach in that what is affecting me day to day. And really, the world is, even if the world is burning, we can be blessed in our own way. And I think that's what Simple Jack is saying. He's been growing in that ability. But where I want to press back, though, Flo, is that there really is no separation.
There really is.
We have no safety while others are in danger.
I don't want safety.
Do you not want
Safety
for your family?
necessitates control. You can't have control without safety. I don't want safety.
All right. Safety
Well-
was a poor choice of words. But
So I was just saying that the world is burning, but wouldn't it be nice to have a business that you could sell anything that you wanted to anybody you wanted to without the restrictions of man?
I mean, sure, there's always things that could be better this way or that way, but just because everything isn't perfect doesn't mean the world's burning. It means that I've got
Well,
a
it's
piss
going the
poor
opposite
attitude.
direction of perfect.
It means that I've got a piss poor attitude, if that's what I think.
But that's going the opposite. I mean, if it's not growing, it's dying.
Gun
To me,
rights,
burning is
gun
dying.
rights, for instance, have been so gradual over my lifetime, have gotten so much looser. Like you can do way more with a gun than when I was a little kid.
Really?
Yes.
Because like when you're
Yeah.
really,
Yes.
really. So when I
About
was a
half
kid,
the-
I could walk outside in my
You're in
front yard and shoot a
California?
BB gun and a
Aren't
BB
you-
gun when I was a
Yeah.
kid. Now I can't go outside with a BB gun unless it has a red tip on it.
If I
I
were
can't
a
even go
felon,
outside with a rifle.
yeah,
as
if
a
I
kid.
were not a felon, I could walk outside with a concealed weapon in my pocket today. Half the states have constitutional carry now. So, anyways, I don't know about where you're at, but my point is broadly, yes, gun rights have expanded dramatically in my lifetime. So, but people don't know that because they think the world's burning. Anyways, there's a lot of things that are good. They just don't get attention.
you're right. You're
What
right.
is it? Pain is like 5 times more painful than pleasure is pleasurable, I think. Something to that effect.
I hadn't heard that. I could understand that. I've heard similar things between the power and weight of words, between positive and negative words. We carry the negative more often than the.
So did you decide to offset my positivity with some images of war?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the idea.
How dare you not dwell in the misery of others?
Well,
Does it help them?
no, it doesn't.
No.
However, well, initially it does not. If we ignore it, it certainly doesn't. And focusing on it, you're right, it does not. And I know actually there's a lot of people today who see especially the war drums beating, and they are feeling it.
Doesn't matter. What they feel doesn't matter. It doesn't help anybody.
It matters to them. And this
Because
is
they're
where-
narcissistic and they confuse their own sentiment for actually doing something for somebody else. If I'm in pain, I don't give a fuck if you're somewhere else sitting there feeling sorry for me. It doesn't help at all.
That's true.
Right. So Flo, you're very good at debates. Congratulations. Like this is gnarly. Trying to debate you on this one.
But
For example, you say like things like that don't affect you, but I remember during a certain time, they said certain things were free. The government was handing out certain things for free. Then a year later, we got hit with inflation. I'm pretty sure that item wasn't free. So
Of
that
course it
affected you.
wasn't.
So that
For sure.
affected you. That affected you, and that's my definition of word burning. Someone enforced something that
That's
you had no control
inflation.
over, and inflation affected your pocket.
It does
Yeah.
affect us.
So
And
that
I-
affected you. Like,
It's yes, of course it did affect me. Of course. And I knew it would when they were handing shit out during the lockdowns. And that's just the world we live in. There's no
And that's-
point in getting fussy about
that's
it.
the-
It's not burning. It's never been any different. It's always been this way. Fiat has always collapsed. It always will collapse. You just need to recognize for what it is and not think about what you think it should be, because it's never been that. It will never
no,
be that.
the world was burning, and for the people who didn't accept that, didn't get that the product that they were selling, and we were rewarded, but in the long run, we all paid for it.
Yes.
So that's what I
You
don't
know-
get. Like, we're still the world is burning around you, and it's affecting you.
No, it's not burning around you. Inflation is the way that money is. The only reason you think it's burning is because you wrongfully think it should be something else. It should
Well,
not be something else. It never has been. You were sold a lie, and you need to adjust your perspective on what inflation is.
No. This is all like examples. For example, music industry is going downhill and affecting everybody around us with frequencies. There's literally devil in the
I've
music
heard
industry.
okay, I've heard that, and I don't have any reason to believe that it is false, but it could be false. I don't know.
Well,
I
I don't. For some reason, I am not in the modern music industry, and whatever I see a glimpse of, it's like these huge concerts of the devil.
there's
So how is that
Uh,
influencing
I love
the youth
concerts.
around you?
I love concerts.
Yeah, but I'm just
There
saying,
is-
like, the world around you is somehow affecting you, and for you to deny that, to me, it's like,
yeah.
I'm not pushing the point anymore. It's just surprising.
accept it, simple Jack.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Or we
It's-
can be mad at the world because we were confused about what we thought it was, and now that it's not what we thought it was, we're angry because it's not how we think it should be.
not angry. You're right. It is easy to get caught up in that anger. And I went through my periods, but I didn't allow the anger to last with me very long. I see all of this as an opportunity. I mean, every problem contains a solution. Every problem indicates an opportunity for change. And the world has a lot of problems. I chose to start working on my own problems, and it turned out I was my problem, so I started changing me. And as I started unlearning the world and what the world taught, I felt better about myself.
Hugs, Goblin, welcome.
All right, I got to go get my daughter.
Blessings. Thank you.
I've got a stream scheduled for later.
Uh-huh.
It's a tentative schedule, but anyways,
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Flo. May see you later. We'll find the link in a bit. I'm actually feeling pretty good today. I'm loving the conversations again, and maybe without Flo's resistance, we can actually discuss reforms.
Bro, I have to work so hard with Flo, dude. I have to be careful because it's easy to say the wrong thing. He's like, I got you. I'm like, I got to take my time with this guy.
Hey, yes,
Yeah,
he's been a wonderful
Tool.
a wonderful friend. I consider it a friend. I'm friends with many, and he's helped me grow. He does have a gift at seeing a different perspective and bringing the adversary through. But
I think it's because he's typical, down to earth and realistic. You know what I mean? A lot of people they have like goals, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe
He grounds us. Yeah.
real grounded. Unfortunately, there is a time and a place for all things, right? That's something I was reminding myself of earlier. There is a time for battle. There is a time to war. There's a time to prepare, a time to sing, a time to dance. There's always time to love. Um,
Yeah, I'm learning that when I go into battle, my intent now is to learn from my enemy and not just destroy them. So I've seen that sometimes people come in here wanting to destroy you, Jack, and not necessarily learn. They're just here to not. I don't want to say destroy because it's a tough word, but they want to do something, and it's very interesting their intent. And if they want to say it's a neutral intent, I don't think that's even possible to be neutral with your intent.
Many people want to seek victory. I've seen it engaged with Paul as well. You know, another strong spirit. I've seen TML as well.
We all have it.
Yes, it's part of this life we're living. And I agree, the combative, there are people who join these panels with, and they don't realize it in their mind, but in their behavior, their intention is to be a disruption. And it's it's their life path, the way they've learned to be. But we are here learning and growing together. And this is what I actually appreciate and respect is even when we don't disagree, as long as we can have actual discussions instead of arguments, that's what it's all about.
And then Red 40, to answer your question, I think you have to enter your spiritual self or your feminine self to recognize when someone is coming in with bad intent or what their intent is, positive or negative. Because you can't, sometimes people are really good at playing poker and you won't be able to see from their facial expressions of what's going on. So you have to go inside yourself, see where they're coming from. I know
Let
that's
me
probably wrong, but
let me
whatever.
ask both of you, the Jacks, your opinions. What I've noticed in my experience, everyone wants to be a leader. So my question is it okay for some to just simply be followers as long as they're using discernment?
Absolutely. I believe a leader knows when to follow.
A leader learns from his followers.
There you go, that too.
You know what I mean? You can't lead unless you know what your followers want. In my
TML?
opinion, in my opinion.
Well, I like to think of it the other way, and flip the question on its head, which is something I often ponder, is that, when people deceive other people, are the useful idiots just as much to blame as the deceivers? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
And that goes to, I always have to go with, yes, I think they're equally well to blame because they had the ability to find otherwise, means that they could not be deceived, so I mean, so I mean, to answer the question with an inversion of the proposition, and see if that serves a purpose,
May I ask another question about that? It seems like a lot of us are like learning how to break out of the victim mentality or the slave mentality. And if a person hasn't done that yet, are they are they considered responsible for their actions if they don't realize what they're doing?
I believe we're all responsible, even in our ignorance. Um, and part of this too, I don't know if this is tied to what you said, but tied to what Machine Lies brought up. I see a responsibility equally between the poor leadership and the poor choices of the masses regarding our government and pointing blame, assigning blame. It's helpful for learning, right? Helpful for correction and learning, but it doesn't solve anything. We do have the opportunity to recognize our responsibility, our part in, even though we may play the small part in the greater picture of the nation and the world, we do have a part to play. All of us know different people. We all know different things. And I think if there's a time for humanity to act, to make some changes from the masses, I think the time is for us today. How to accomplish it, though?
That's absolute though, Jack. That's solid. You know what I mean? Now, not tomorrow, not yesterday. You're right.
Absolutely. I'm going to take a chance. I'm trusting there's no ill intentions. Welcome, lead mechanic.
Peace, peace. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
Hugs. Welcome.
Oh,
Welcome. Haven't seen you before. You're welcome to join. You new here, or have you been paying? Do you know the community?
well, I've been on Earth for a little while. I mean, I'm not new.
What are you selling? Snap-on or Macco?
Oh, none.
Okay.
Well, I'm a Mac guy though, since you asked.
You're a what guy?
But he asked about tools.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Mac. Gotcha. Welcome. We were talking about leadership. We weapons, tools, and toys. You know, some people gifted at leadership. They use it as a weapon and a toy. And the next thing you know, we got former TV stars as the U.S. president. I've got a lot of judgment within me, if it hasn't been noticed, about what the hell is America doing? How low are we going to let our standards slip? What level of tolerance are we going to continue? And if we're not going to tolerate the past, sorry to keep going on, but if we're not going to tolerate the past, then what are our options? What are we going to do? Getting angry does nothing. We realize that. Being afraid does nothing. So what do we want to do?
I don't know. I was like, once gas hits $10 a gallon, I'm gonna move, but I don't think I will. I was like, I'll go to Norway, but it's actually more expensive there. So I don't know. Like, yeah, you're absolutely right, Jack. How far is this United States gonna go, and then how much are we gonna tolerate?
I'm following the news. I don't get deep involved, but I do pay attention, and some of the conversations by people involved in the banking industry, they're talking about some not good things for the economic future. It's time for us to change this game. I think that is the only solution it's not the only. It's the most logical solution available for mankind to come together and address this parasite that is the banking system.
Jack, you know what I found odd about that? Not necessarily what you said, but I was speaking to the guy from StreamYard, right? And I was explaining how the whole thing about how they want to tokenize everything. There was no denial. I found that interesting. No denial whatsoever.
So StreamYard is moving to a token-based system. Is that what I understood you to say? And they didn't deny that?
He didn't say it, but he didn't deny it, which, kind of speaks for itself, I would assume.
Potentially. I don't know enough details, but careful not to read too much into it. There are signs. All of us, each of us, uniquely, we are all on our own path of life. So it's up to each of us to pay attention to what the world reveals for us. You might learn something I have not. It's very likely. everyone has learned things that I have not, or, the same for all of us. But each of us need to pay, don't need to, we get to pay attention. Not to what we think, but to what is shown to us.
That makes me wonder, Jack. Two questions come up in my head when you say that. Do we get to change things, or do we get to participate in things?
I love that.
Is it my job to change something, or is it just my job to participate?
We get to choose. We
Thank
do.
you.
That's a valid question, and we do get to choose what we participate in and what we try to change. And even if we try to change things, doesn't mean that we have the ability or even the right to change them.
What is choosing, Jack?
What is chosen?
What is making the choice?
We each do. Our intentions and desires and our own life path will bring the choices we see. And then from the choices we notice, that's where we make our choices.
What is the we, but the intentions and desires?
When I'm referring to we, when I say we, I'm referring to beings of human design. Black, white, man, woman, whatever, just people. Because
The collective good.
we're all basically designed with the same structures and principles of our mind and our emotions, biology. We've got a lot of similarities.
We
not
born with. So you saying we born with these designs out of the womb?
We do. We fall in
So,
love with our idea of ourself as who we are. Is that what you
so
mean?
no, I'm saying when you come out of the womb, you already have a specific design in you that you're gonna do something.
I don't
We
know that.
evolve.
We have genetic signatures which bring forth the tendencies and the probabilities of our physical design, and then it goes beyond that. There's so many variables and subtleties involved in what a person is. And you're right. It actually, I think, the design starts before we were born. I mean, you go into the history of who we are, well, then we got to go into our parents and then their
Exactly.
history before. So,
If you right, that's correct. If you know yourself, you got to know your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, then you have an idea who you shall be in life.
I respect where you're going with that, learning from the past so you have a better idea of where you're coming from and what you're intended for. However, I'd even caution against that, because our labels and our definitions, the world gives us labels and definitions, or we choose labels and definitions. They're not always the best things for us. We're
Well,
here to discover who we can become, I think.
the thing is that how you discovering that? You're discovering that again from the world, giving you the information. But if you had, say, a great grandfather or grandmother that plays sports, that means you have the genetics inside of you. So that means by learning your past, you understand the abilities inside of you. And
Okay.
knowing each aspects of your abilities, you could choose to manifest those if you want to.
I see where you're going with that. That makes sense. Go to the past
Jack,
to discover unknown abilities, especially. Go ahead, God.
Jack, did you see Erm's comment down there? I think that's what he was alluding to. But so when our mother gets pregnant, it's a conception, right? That you conceive, right? A concept, it's an idea.
Yeah, a concept. It's not fully formed. It's not fully rigid. It's open to development and change. And that's what we are. Concept is a potentiality.
Can I
I
ask
think that's
Well,
what we
I
are.
heard Nachi,
uh,
you said, go ahead, Nachi.
That's
I'm
simple,
simple
Jack.
Jack, bro. All Asians look the same.
Dude, what
That's
the
messed
hell?
up, Joe. That's
Wait,
messed up.
wait.
The most racist black man.
Wait, I'm really racist because I just sat up here. Look, before I got on, I was talking that shit. Damn, my guys, I think that's
No, I
Nachi,
want to
blah,
ask
blah,
the
blah.
lead
Fucking.
mechanic a question real quick. If he believes in free will.
Part of that question of, are we
So,
defined?
you know what? I love that question because then that have to take you back to the essence of yourself. We are just all aspects of thoughts. We are a sentient being taking in electrical magnetic data at every given moment. So the free will is based upon the worldview because the world gives us the thoughts that's inside of us to allow us to guide us whatever route we go, whether it's your mother, the television, wherever the case may be. So free will is just like
You're saying no free
uh,
will. You're saying
wait,
no
wait,
free will, yeah?
free will is a metaphor one may use because it's based upon whatever information you take in.
Thank you
That
for
was
exploring.
interesting.
Thank you.
He does not believe that you have free will. I got another
No,
buddy that believes
you
like
didn't
that.
understand what I
I
said,
didn't,
bro.
I didn't get that.
I
That's
did not.
okay.
I thought you were saying. That you don't really have free will. You're kind of a victim of everything that came your way, everything you are, the circumstances that brought you here are really making the decisions for you. That's what it sounded like you were saying. You didn't say
So,
we play a
are you
role in it
sure he's
anyway.
not asking limited? Are you sure he's not speaking that he does believe in free will, but only to an extent, or no?
I'm
That's
not
what
sure.
I
That's why
understand.
I'm engaging him now.
So again, in order to understand that question, you first got to understand your essence. If you don't understand your essence, then the question would not be understood properly. Then you have to ask, who am I in the physical world? You are a sentient being. Okay, I'm a sentient being. Now what next? Sentient being collects data of information. And that information that you're being collected determines your outcome in life. After you develop a personality, symbolic soul, then you could say, do I want to have another upgrade to the soul or personality? You could choose from that point. But was it free will in the beginning? Because it was collection of data came inside of you and you become conscious or aware of yourself. Now from that point, you could say, I choose to be a doctor or I choose to be a lawyer. Now, was that really you choosing or was that collection of data that was put inside of you?
The
Now, am
lawyer's
I
way more
wrong or
onion,
am I
bro.
right? Is he not saying what I just said he said? Am I crazy?
A little bit, Joe, but
A little bit
but
crazy, or is he saying a little bit?
A little
yeah,
bit of both. I got a little
yeah,
salt and pepper on this one, dude.
you're a little bit crazy, but we'll come back to the
I,
conversation.
no, we'll stay here now. What the fuck are you running for? I think, mechanic. I think what you said was, you get to choose, and you ended up saying, but did you really choose? Sounds like you're on the fence with this one, bro.
Can you allow something to be true and untrue at the same time and still
This is
understand?
in very rare instances. This is not one of them, Jack.
I think you can. It is, and actually, I won't claim to say that I fully understand what lead mechanic is offering, but I think it makes sense. The essence of who we are is the collection of data and information that has been revealed from the world, from the life
Jack, I'm
experience.
sorry, Jack. Do you have free will, Jack?
I believe so, but I believe
Simple,
it is
Jack. Do you have free
limited.
will? Simple
will
Jack.
based
You got
on
free
what?
will?
Yes. I was muted. Sorry. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. Machine Laz, do you have free will?
I would say yes and no.
Yeah.
Hold on, and no, because I want to know about the and no. And Goblin, I don't want to leave you out. Do you have free will?
Absolutely. I think that he was speaking on influence, though. Go ahead.
That's a good one. He gets another chance to answer. So I'm trying to make a point here. Lead mechanic, I'm still unclear. Do you have free will?
After when I became conscious of myself, not before that.
Oh,
All right.
beautiful.
I'm okay with that. Yes,
Beautiful.
I would agree with that. In fact, yes, very good.
But that's why I brought that
Miss-
earlier. Do we blame followers who are
There
not
you
there yet at the level of being free?
go. Man, good
I
perspective on that question too. If they're unconscious as followers, do they have free will? And if they don't have the free will, at what
they
point?
do. Even as unconscious followers, I have to assume that they have free will.
We have the
And I would assume I would put us on the level as the rest of them. We may have more of a thing, but I'd say all of us, because I know I'm goofy and make dumb decisions and shit, and I'm at least the man that you guys are. So I have to assume that you still do dumb shit and all of that nonsense too. We are affected by our programming. We try to break out every day, but we still react when we should be acting and that type of nonsense. We're not there. We're the same.
I disagree with that. And if you could speak for yourself only.
No, I love disagreeing. I'm Joe. I'm cool with disagreeing. I probably prefer it. Go ahead and tell me why.
yeah, Joe doesn't like agreements.
I don't think I do, man. I think this shit sharpens you more, and I'm not afraid of it.
I know.
You think
I
you're
interrupt-
different, though. You no longer subject to your programming mechanic.
I never said I think I'm different.
Yeah. Hey, let me jump in here.
Conversation that you said.
Oh,
I thought my conversation was that we are the same as the others. And you said, I disagree, meaning I
Right.
think you're different. I am not crazy here, bro. You're being intentionally obscure.
No, but what I'm saying is you don't have to add words to what I'm thinking. Just say, hey, what you're thinking is what I'm getting at.
I tried that. You're
you
being intentionally convoluted, I do believe.
Here,
No. But
wait.
if you're setting a stand for me before I even speak, that's disingenuous. It's like you're saying
I would
to a
not do that.
person,
I heard you speak. I shut up and heard you speak before I opened my mouth.
but
What are
you
you
just told
talking about?
me,
Hold on.
you just told me that I think I'm different. So you setting something up before I even say anything yet.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
Here.
I'm gonna calm down. I'm not
Yes.
wrong here. I
Jack, get
said
in here.
we're
It's your
the
panel,
same.
bro.
Wait,
Oh,
I get that Jack does not like this agreement, which is why he's trying to jump in. He thinks this is going left and he wants to interrupt badly. I get that, bro. I mean, if you want to change the topic, go ahead, man. But shit, this is what it's about. This is how we learn. This is how men grow, Jack. All of that. I love you and we don't agree on the same shit. That's good too. But both must be done, bro. You can't
Yeah.
fucking,
Disagreement brings resolution. Absolutely.
well, here, I wanted to, Joe, you're right, but it doesn't have to be a challenge to understand each other. Even though we want to challenge the ideas, we don't have to challenge each other. And
I am not necessarily a challenge. I'm asking for clarification, man. Right?
I see
That's
this.
all.
I know. And I'm not sure. Can I come back to this? I'd like to actually,
Absolutely.
yes, I'd like to come back to
You
this.
know, I'll never tire.
know
I'll
you-
come back if you forget. So go
I know
ahead.
you will. Well, regarding the topic of free will and our abilities there, I want to swing back in a different direction, kind of. We briefly touched on what is it, the genetics and such like that. I'm curious what from the others of you, your familiarity with the morphogenetic field and the stuff put out by Rupert Sheldrake.
I don't know that cat, but I think Machine Lies knows a little bit about it. Looked like you got his attention when you said morphogenetic. I think that's that shit Flo talks about. One of you guys tell me. I think I know what it is, but one of you guys tell me.
I'm curious if Machine might have. He's one, or if Lead Mechanic might as well, because it's in line. It sounds like with some of the stuff you've already been offering. The idea, as I understand the morphogenetic field, is that there is a field of, well, in the greater scope, we live in a field of energy, which is a field of consciousness, and there is a field of memory that surrounds or is incorporated with the planet, and it's this field of memory that creates the animals into the shapes they are, creates us into who we are. The animals have been, according to some of these studies, animals have been shown to develop from memory of their ancestors' experience in physical ways and, you know, through patterns of behavior. So it brings a
That's
real.
not simply passed down in your DNA, Jack. For instance, if I see a lion and it scares me, that's not imprinted in my DNA, and my kid knows the fear of a lion. Is not that simple.
I don't know if it's simply in the DNA or if it's part of the field. As I understand, our bodies are like receivers and formed from the energies. It's like there's these energy signatures of us.
It's called epigenetics.
It's all, yes, it's in the same type of stuff. I think this is the explanations of science that make the most sense. Getting into the energetic fields and the way, starting with energies, then coming into form rather than focusing on the form.
I believe in that.
I think imagination is a good start than anything else. If you can imagine whatever you want in life, and then you impress that onto your subconscious, which rules you 90% of the way or more, then you actually go ahead and manifest that in your life. I think that's a simpler way to say that from a human standpoint of view.
I agree with you. Mechanic Einstein said imagination is more important than intellect. I believe too that this field you're talking about, that blah blah, I think we are creating that field, and we are creating the animals and all of that shit. I believe that type of shit somewhere along there.
This life
The
we've
field
been,
is similar to a dream. If you take
Yes.
it back down again to human, right? Because a lot of times when we say stuff, we kind of get all the touch of human beings, and everything in life goes back to the human being. If you cannot relate it back to yourself, either it's just no good, or you haven't studied enough. So similar to this field you're talking about, is like you go to sleep, and within your sleep, it would just be blank or something called darkness, and then light will form, meaning that you start forming shapes form that have something called a dream, vision, imagination. And there is a part of the brain that actually allow these functions to happen, meaning dreams, daydreaming, vision, imagination. It's called the visual cortex. It's in the back of your brain. That's what allows you to also see the images that the eyes allow you to put in, those who have sight through their eyes. So that visual cortex is your number one sight or your only sight. So what you're talking about is that being able to be in oneness with everything from a physical standpoint of view, but the dream world is a good and like what some of it we go like in a lucid dreaming. If you're familiar with that,
I've
pretty
been
much
lucid
y'all
dreaming
are.
since I was a teenager. Yeah.
Jack, can I
Right.
offer some verification of what he's saying? People that are schizophrenic, the back part of their brain is actually swelled up. You know what I'm saying? And so the delusions, you know what I mean? So yes, that
I
should
see
be
where you're
some
going,
kind of
Goblin.
clarification.
You see where he's going. He is saying that dude is saying that your visual cortex is responsible for when you go into the dreams, it's still active in some ways. And dude is saying that he believes it because those schizophrenics who see and imagine a lot of things have a larger visual cortex. I think that's what God was saying.
But the thing is that the visual cortex is responsible for every sight, whether you're awake or not. The goal is not just to practice lucid dreaming. The goal also is to practice elusive awakeness. Because it seems
Wait,
like when you're in a lucid dream state, you're able to manifest whatever you choose to in that dream at any given time. You
right.
also should take that same elusive dream state and bring that into lucid awakeness state. So you also can manifest anything you want to in this physical world as well too.
It's logical. And I don't know if you're saying lucid or something else. I believe the word is lucid.
That's the first time I've
Lucid,
heard
yeah.
that.
All right.
Lucid awake.
Right, right. You say it right.
He's got an accent. I can't figure
Right,
out
right.
where it's
It's
from
that.
either.
I was wondering if you said elusive
But
or
you
No.
UK or what?
what?
I think he's maybe UK. I'm not sure.
Oh, where's your accent, bro? I would have thought an island
Or
or something.
Bahamas.
Yeah.
Okay. We speak the worst form of English right here in the States. No cap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. White people talk really weird, bro.
Lead mechanic. How did you find the
That,
show?
that was a joke, you fucks.
Also, something I just feel like this might be necessary when it comes to the archetype that you're born as and the evolution that you grow to become. We broadly spoke about the influence, but also like, okay, I have a sibling that's younger than me. It's a female. Now, when we were younger, I'm a white Indian, you know what I'm saying? That's what I am. When we were younger, my sister looked more like my father and I looked more like my mother. And then as we got older, the looks changed. And it's not just because we grew up. You know what I mean? So like
what are you saying? Why did they change? Because you were more like one parent and the other, white, their looks changed.
our looks physically changed. Like my sister looks like my mom, not my father. You know what I mean?
What do
And
you
that was
attribute that to? What do you attribute
I
the
don't know
change
really.
to? Okay, okay. I thought you
Just
had
in general,
a
you can change
theory.
your mindset, your change of thought. You can
That's what
change
I
your look.
thought you were saying. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Maybe I must understand. I
No,
thought you
go
were
ahead.
saying
All
because
that.
your mindset went into one way, it changed your appearance. I thought that's where you were going with this. You know, like me, I got all these wrinkles and
100%.
furrowed brow because I'm always serious about something. My mindset has changed my appearance. I thought that's where you were going.
Gray hair is a sign of wisdom, not knowledge.
It is. It is. It's tough.
Now, do you know, Joe, you can rearrange your mindset?
I've been working on it for a long time. I work on it every day.
How you working on it, Joe?
Well, a bunch of ways. The first way is to be conscious. First thing I do is when I see energy come in, I try and interpret it, and I try and transmute it. When I see negative energy or whatever, I try to study. What would bring a person to that shit? Is it trauma? Is it something just happening? Mad at this woman, and I try to be the best way I can to change that energy. Do I match that energy? Do I back down? Whatever I got to do to change it. That's me changing my reactive part of me. Well, that's a million things. I go on with how I'm trying to prove myself forever, bro.
So, Joe, so I humbly would suggest as working in it, not working on it. And I would
I don't
suggest
understand.
what working, yeah, I'm going to get there. I'm going to humbly suggest what it means to work on something is
Yeah,
to sit down and imagine the outcome that you want to see. And always imagine that outcome continually until you can impress that outcome into the
yeah.
subconscious. That's what it
I'm,
means to work on something.
I thought that's what I said. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, you were saying that you were looking at stuff, trying to figure why the energy is happening. That's being in
I,
it.
I
That's being a
said I
part
work.
of it.
I said I work on it every day.
Hey,
Yeah, but you was
let
giving
me
examples on what
What
you was
about work
doing. You
with
never.
it? Go ahead,
Uh,
Jack.
let me let me jump in here briefly. And a forewarning. I do hope to wrap up here in the next few minutes too. Okay, so um, damn it, I took my mind off the topic. What were you guys just saying?
he was explaining to me something I already know. All due respect, lead mechanic. Yes,
You're
things that
trying.
are manifest from. Go ahead, Jack. From the
Sorry.
unconscious mind. Of course, everybody knows that,
Yes,
man.
I want to offer, because we touched on this idea earlier of the practice of non-doing, and you're right, Joe. You are practicing. You are a man who is very aware. You do a great job of paying attention, and I see a lot of things. But one of the things I've learned for myself, sometimes I try too hard,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's easier to understand without trying.
I believe it or not, I think I understand what you're saying.
I think you do. I know. Hey, I want to flip this around though too, as we kind of close out. Some of the topics we've had about the essence of life being more than just the form. So if this is a dream state and there's similarities to dreams, what would be the logic behind imagining limitations or dreaming up limitations for ourselves?
Safety.
From what? I mean, and this
What
is
you
the
mean?
thing. If it's a
You talking
dream,
about you
there's
mean
nothing.
limitations as far as different human beings?
There's zero logics in limiting yourself.
That's
Right.
amen.
And if
When you
you're
say
right,
you talking
mechanic,
about
with the
limitation as being a human?
he's talking about limitations of what you imagine and those things. I mean,
Yeah.
just if you're right about your
Right.
lucid dreaming thing, mechanic, I found that I piss myself off when I limit myself. I remember I was going to fight some other lucid dreamer in my dreams. I'm way over the top with this shit, and I made a fucking plane appear, and I was flying a plane. And I thought, you fucking idiot, why would you make a plane fly? You know, I got mad at myself, and I flew there and beat the guy up and killed him and all of that shit. Limitations would bring fear and shit like that. Security, whoever said something along those lines, get rid of limitations and get rid of your fears.
Well,
Yeah.
the purpose of limitations is to know thyself.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can run with that. Part of this process is the individuation, and so you got to know the limits of yourself to know where you end.
Are there really limits to yourself?
Well, and that's the question. That's the paradox we
You
live
know
in.
yourself. I think you know there are no limits if you know thyself. You're part of all.
No.
Oh, I love
Okay,
it.
like,
Let's go with
all right.
this.
For
Yes,
example,
go.
dude. For
Yeah.
example, like I tried being a pro skateboarder, and I knew I didn't want to break my body to impress other people.
Yes.
So I knew my limitations.
Wait. No.
You
My ass. Are you telling me that if you set your mind to that skateboarding thing, you would
I'd
not
be
have been able to
broken.
achieve it? You would have broken. You would not be a good skateboarder.
No, I'd just be broken.
But then then you perhaps have limitations. Yes, but I do believe that I believe that if without, I don't know, assuming you don't have any physical problems where you can't do it, and even then you could probably overcome it. Whatever you set your mind to, it seems that a man can do. If one man can do it, looks like we all can.
Okay, but Joe, an honest man will recognize what he is and is not supposed to do, and that can be a chosen limit. Deciding, all right, this is something I've
it's
tried. I limit
self-selected.
myself.
All right, that wasn't bad,
I'm
Jack.
He
still in
put
the
that
idea
limit. He
that
put that limit on himself, though. But that doesn't mean that it has to be a limitation.
Right.
He knew
Yeah.
his limitation. That was his standard for himself.
When we do that, we're probably fucking wrong. When you look and say I can't do that, you just put it in your subconscious that you cannot do that, and you created that inability
So let
to
me
do that
so
now.
Joe,
Yeah,
let me ask you this: if
yeah,
somebody is 7'1" and somebody is 4'3", and the
yeah.
7'1" could jump, do you think that 4'3" could just jump up and jump?
Do you think the 4'3" guy can jump higher than a 7'1" guy? Is that what you're asking?
Here comes another drive-by.
Yes,
Hey,
yes. Like
All
we're
right.
not all the same. We all have an individual. Like
I started. If I'm sorry, Simple Jack, but I started the statement if there are no physical limitations. Go ahead, Jack.
all right. Hey, I want to remind we are shutting down.
But so are you saying you have limitations, Jack? You don't shut down?
Yep. Hey,
The show has limitations.
lead mechanic. I am. There's actually another online course, online community. I'm hoping to join here in a few minutes. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna go jump another flat earther in about a half hour.
cool.
well, damn, Jack, I could talk to you for hours. This is a great topic and a great show today. So I appreciate you sharing time with us. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bro, I appreciate all of you.
I
Sincerely.
echo Simple Jack's comments.
Hugs, hugs.
All right,
Anyway,
I'll
by the
bail,
time I'm
man, and
done,
let you say goodbye to your
by the
guys,
time I'm
man.
done, I'm gonna let Jack break his limits.
Please.
Hey, respect Joe and who else just dropped? I lost out there.
Simple Jack did, and so did
I'm still here.
Goblin
oh,
did.
okay.
Yeah, it was
Goblin,
Goblin and Joe.
Goblin and Joe Cool did. Thank you both. Lynn,
You know, hey,
Lynn, thank you for joining.
it's a little too late, so I think I'll just tag on to next time's show. But I really like the topic because what I want to say probably takes a little talking about. So I'm just gonna say skip it till next time.
Will you please return and please remember the thought for us.
Yeah.
I appreciate what you bring us.
Okay, sure.
I want to say something on fear, right? You have lived without fear, and the purpose of fear is cautious. So fear is very useful tool because if you see fire, you don't walk into it. You don't say I got no fear and then walk through the
I
fire.
I know we've had these conversations. Hey,
But
Simple Jack, thank you for joining. Lead mechanic, I respect and appreciate what you brought as well. I hope you might return.
oh
You're,
yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Very deep thoughts from the lead mechanic, man. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate your wisdom there, man. Thank you. Bless.
yes, respect. I'm going to toss you to
Yeah,
the
for
back
real.
though, and we're going to wrap this up. Appreciate you, brother. Machine lies.
Yeah. In terms of the topic, there's many ways because people often think, but there's many anthropologists that have came to the conclusion that man is either a tool making animal, called Homo faber, or a game playing animal, called Homo ludens. So these are all expressions for what divides us from the animal kingdom. Well, another proposal is in the mediation of both of these things, which is in the symbols, brought forward by a philosopher and thinker named Lewis Mumford, who said that man is the symbol making animal. And I think games, whether it's games or tools or weapons, they're based on language and symbols that we make for each other and ideas that we have. And those signs and symbols and signification of those signs point to objects and techniques that exist apart from us, and we have to take those back under our control so that we don't lose control of and sight of their goals and objectives of why they were brought into existence, because our imaginations, the thoughts of our imaginations can outrule, and our creations can have a new life of their own, and they can create an alternative reality that we lose control over quite quickly if we don't learn to take control of those symbols and take control of our world. But thank you guys for joining us. Bless you guys.
Machine Lies, thank you, my brother. Well spoken. And what he's talking about is a word of some cautionary words for this time we are living in, this time we're sharing in. Those tools, those instruments, those technologies, the weapons and tools and toys, the technologies that we have evolved with and generated, they can take on a life of their own. You know, the next thing you know, these instruments for governance and commerce, next thing you know, they've got the mind and the power of their own. Corporations and governments start existing as their own demonic entities without a soul, just without compassion. Anyway, the idea of today, brothers and sisters, I had a great time. I think we had some incredible guests, some wonderful conversations, and, you know, let's wrap it up here. I hope all will return as well again in the future. Where'd that go? Here he is. Dropping the link for our friend Flow State. He's got a stream and a panel, I believe, starting up in about a half hour. So, brothers and sisters, I wish you the best, sincerely. Let's see, words of parting. One of the topics we covered today. Let's go from intentionally, and maybe these words only apply at a tiny level for you. Maybe they apply pretty considerably, but all words, all meanings are symbols for you to define, for you to interpret what is best for you. So from these words, I encourage you, evaluate your current experience, identify where you are tolerating yourself as a victim, and then see what you can do within yourself to accept responsibility, regain control of you, your destiny, your time, your relationships, your choices. Put in the intention to change you from the victim to the leader, to the creator, to the co-creator, to the master of you, your destiny. Let's dream big together. Hopefully you return again. Hopefully we return again tomorrow. And if so, please watch for the notifications. Do the subscribe thing. Drop a like once in a while, maybe, if it suits you. Just kidding. Have a beautiful night, brothers and sisters. Peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. Thank you, and God bless.